chilling at Mwalimu Nyerere International Airport, Dar es Salaam, where the three of us have been detained awaiting deportation.
Identify yourselves! Identify yourselves!
In a recent move that has shocked the East African region, Tanzania authorities recently detained and deported prominent Kenyan political figures and activists, including Justice Minister Marthakarua, former Chief Justice Willy Mutunga, and human rights defender like Hanifa and Boniface Mwangi. But why? And what does this mean for Pan-African democracy? Because we've been talking about, Africa being one and countries coming together so that we can have an independent Africa. But in recent cases, what does that mean? But anyway, welcome back to another episode of Africa is Marwa. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Kindly take 3 seconds of this video to hit on that subscribe button before we dive deep into this video, and we will say thank you. Remember to also like and leave us a comment of what you think, and stay till the end. On May 18, 2025, the delegation of Kenyan leaders and activists arrived in Dar es Salaam to show solidarity with Tanzanian opposition leader Tundu Lissu, who was actually facing treason charges. But instead of being welcomed as observers of justice, they were actually detained at the airport and swiftly deported back to Nairobi.
Chilling at Mwalimu Nyerere International Airport, Dar es Salaam, where the three of us have been detained awaiting deportation. We thought that as citizens of Jumuiya we were free, but not yet uhuru. The great Mwalimu Nyerere, who welcomed all people, the oppressed of Africa. This is not what he must have envisaged, that we can be detained here. The common thread among us, we are guests of East Africa Law Society, and there is fear in this government of our dear Mama Suluhu about people who may be interested in the politically motivated cases against Tundu Lissu. Aluta continua.
Aluta continua.
Tanzanian immigration officials actually gave no clear explanation to why they were being deported back to their countries. However, the message was unmistakable, as many have come out so strongly to actually oppose these acts. Many have been criticizing Samia Suluhu, the Tanzanian president, and even some of East African leaders have come out so strongly to criticize this movement because the external observers were actually not given any chance and they were not welcomed, depending on the political crossroads that they came from, be it from the neighboring countries, wherever. But this was sending actually a very, very bad signal. So where did all this start? It all started by the arrest of Tundu Lissu, the man actually at the center of the political storm, who is no stranger to controversy. Tundu Lissu is a very fierce critic of the ruling regime, and we know it started all the way from Magufuli era to now Samia Suluhu era. He's still a very critic of the government, and he has actually survived so many assassination attempts, and he now faces treason charges of a speech that he gave, allegedly inciting rebellion and destabilizing national unity. Many see the charges as part of the broader crackdown on opposition voices ahead of the Tanzanian general election that is scheduled later this year. And we know at many times this always happens in African context, and we know the countries like Kenya can't be spared. We know of Senegal that opposition have gone a long way to even being detained, but it seems like it is not the end of such happenings in the African continent. But what can we say? We are hoping for the best for Tundu Lissu.
I'm so happy you're here. How is my good friend, the Chief Justice? I told you was turned away yesterday. I'm sorry on behalf of my countrymen. Yeah. I'm so happy you're here. so happy you are here.
Coming south.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My gratitude greetings to the Kenyan people. I always say I'm a Kenyan blood rising because I was listening Thank you so much. I'm so happy you're here. And thank you for the solidarity. All the best. Thank you. I have been reading on Tangu's letter, the story of Kenyan. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you very much. All the best. And my greetings to the legal fraternity, Kenyan people. I'll definitely come to Nairobi when I'm safe. All the best. Thank you so much.
Tundu Lissu is actually spotted in the video thanking the former Chief Justice Marwa and the whole Kenyans for standing out with him, and actually even apologizing to him and others who were affected with the ordeal. But upon return to Nairobi, Karua actually condemned the deportation, calling it a violation of Pan-African democratic values. She was actually received heroically with some Kenyans and some other leaders at the airport. Speaking on behalf of the Pan-African lobby that she leads, she actually demanded that the unconditional release of Tundu Lissu needs to come immediately, and she termed it as a state-sponsored political harassment. And her words have actually sparked debates across East Africa, opposition voices being silenced in a region that claims to champion democracy and human rights. So many leaders have come out to condemn the happenings, not just the arrest of Tundu Lissu, but also the deportation of these Kenyan leaders and key activists. Well, Karua wasn't just the only casualty, as Boniface, Mwangi, Hanifa, Arsafa, and many other activists from Kenya were actually deported, and this has actually sent some shockwaves in the East African region, especially Kenya and Tanzania, that has been holding at least shaky ties in terms of engagement and bilateral terms of trade. Many Kenyans understand how this has been happening, but those were not just the isolated cases, because this actually reflect a regional pattern of intolerance towards opposition, activism, and Pan-African watchdog voices. And this is very good in Africa, but Tanzania has actually shown a new direction, especially in the East African continent.
Identify yourselves. Identify yourselves. Thank you. Let me hear it. No, I'm not giving my voice. I'm your guest. I'm going to be in your hotel. I'm your guest. No. Who are they? Identify yourself.
President Samia Suluhu actually kept a very low jib, and she remained actually silent until today, that she came out to speak out on the ordeals and the controversy that has been happening. But her silence was actually interpreted by many as a tactic approval at best of the indifference. But diplomatic experts have actually come out so strongly to warn that this could strain the historically cordial Kenya-Tanzanian relationship. Will President Ruto respond, actually, because he has also been silent? Will the East African community step into this? I mean, the ties are actually becoming way bad, and they're waiting to see how the regional cooperation, especially the East Africa, moves toward deeper integration and ensuring that Africa becomes actually one. Here is what President Samia Suluhu had to say on this matter.
Niwaombe, katika matamko yanayotoka, ni vyema wizara na vyombo vyetu vya ulinzi na usalama mkajibu kwa haraka, mkachukua hatua za haraka, aidha kutoa ufafanuzi, kukanusha, au kama ni la kweli kukubaliana na kuchukua hatua za kurekebisha. lakini tusiwe shamba la bibi, kwamba kila mtu anaweza kuja akasema analolitaka, lipo Tanzania halipo, watu wakajisemea tu. Lakini la pili, tumeanza kuona mtiririko au mwenendo wa wanaharakati ndani ya region yetu hii kuanza kuvamia na kuingilia mambo yetu huku. Sasa kama kwao wameshadhibitiwa, wasije kutuharibia huku. Tusitowe nafasi. Walishaharibu kwao, walishavuruga kwao. Nchi iliyobaki haijaharibika. Watu wako na usalama na amani na utulivu ni hapa kwetu. Kuna majaribio kadhaa. Niwaombe sana vyombo vya ulinzi na usalama na nyinyi wasimamizi wa sera zetu nje kutoa nafasi kwa watovu wa adabu wa nchi nyingine kuja kutovuka hapa kwetu. Hapana. Nimeona klipu kadhaa za kunisema niko bias na nini. Nalofanya ni kulinda nchi yangu na ndio wajibu niliopewa. Kwa hiyo hatutatoa nafasi kwa kiumbe yoyote kuja kutuvurugia hapa, awe yupo ndani au anatoka nje. Hatutatoa hiyo nafasi.
This incident is more than just a diplomatic hiccup. It's actually a reflection of state democracy in East Africa. It poses critical question. Can African nations hold each other accountable? Can citizens move freely and speak boldly within Africa? I mean, what do you think about this? If voices like Karua, Mwangi, Lissu can be silent, who then will speak for the justice in Africa? Anyway, at Africa is Marwa, we strongly believe that in the Pan-African unity that is built on justice, truth, accountability, the silencing of political voices, whether in Tanzania, Kenya, or anywhere else in the African region, must be strongly called out. We strongly stand with those who demand for better justice and proper governance in Africa, and those who have refused to be silenced, and with you, the viewers, who believe that Africa can be stronger if we come together and Africa can be free. Then you and me have to continue speaking out and speaking loud so that these voices can reach to every African, so that we can have a freer Africa. Please don't forget to hit on that subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I mean, what are you still waiting for? Don't you love Africa? And for more and real Pan-African voices, you'll find them here. But at this moment, Africa is Marwa comes to an end, and we are hoping that this video actually made an impact. Please share it wide so that each and every Africa become proud of our African identity. We wish Tundu Lissu well as he fight against the injustices that he is facing in Tanzania, and hoping that he will be released and will be able to vie in the coming election in Tanzania. Tell us what you think, but until next time, bye for now.
I'm a great believer in unity. I believe in the old adage, unity is strength. I mean, this is truly, it is strength. And the human race would be much stronger if we were united. We would get rid of a lot of problems in the world if we could be united. And therefore, the human race must move towards unity. And continents like mine, a country like Tanzania must move towards greater unity. Continents must move towards greater unity. And the human race must move towards unity.